People want to talk about conference realignment. They want to talk about revenue. They want to talk the ACC and this conference, that conference. There were some ACC meetings this week. What can you share with us from the ACC meetings? What can you share with us on this whole crazy world that is the conference realignment of college football right now?
Well, you see a lot of movement. Starting next year, of course, USC and UCLA's moving to the Big Ten to assist that, to give that conference another market to go into Los Angeles and Southern California and out west. And then you see the approval, which we knew was going to happen with Texas and Oklahoma now going to the SEC starting in 24. So 2024 is a big year and a lot of movement. And with that comes television contracts that are going to give about $30 million more, in my estimation, than what the ACC is getting. And for us to be able to survive, that just can't happen. So we really got to look as a conference at how we grow our revenues, what we can do. And I'm very vocal, and they know, you've seen me point out numbers over the last 10 years in our worst time. When I go back and look, we're still number one in the conference in average viewership in the regular season, and by a margin. So that brand still carries, not only in this region, but across the country. And when you look at what TV contracts measure, they measure households, they measure viewership, they measure championships. When ESPN or ABC or Fox or you name it is evaluating a conference or evaluating a television rights deal, having negotiated them in the NFL, this is what they're looking at. And so I think we check all those boxes of adding value. When I run my numbers, we represent 10 to 12% of the ACC contract media value. I mean, that's a lot. So some measurements get it up to 14, 15%, depending on what you add in there. If you add postseasons and some other intangibles. So, we bring value to the conference. And so I just want to make sure the conference understands that we consider ourselves very valuable, and we drive revenue for everyone within the conference.
How much does the success of the program right now continue to help some of those conversations and help that, right? I think if the program wasn't in a super successful spot right now from an on the field or on the court perspective, you probably don't have some of the same maybe bargaining chips or maybe some of the same weight behind it, but it's probably a good time that success on the field and in a lot of different programs coincides with some of these conversations.
Well, we're going to be growing. We're getting better. You hear me every day. How you doing? President and I laugh because we're getting better, sir, every day. Every time I put my head on the pillow, I'm going to wake up and we're going to get better today across the board. But you see some of the numbers. You mentioned softball. Look what what we bring to the table. And when we played UCLA in softball, was it 1.7 million?
That's
Last year,
insane.
one of the highest softball viewerships in the regular season. Last year in Clearwater, it's going to be that way again when we play this weekend in Clearwater coming up. We're going to have unbelievable numbers. There's a reason ESPN's carrying us every time we
Every
step
game.
on the diamond, because that brand draws. There's a reason baseball gets picked up. There's a reason that football is still carrying, even as I mentioned earlier, going back to 2014 to 22, we were still the number one brand in the ACC and one of the top brands in the conference. So that means things to these media contracts. And so when you look at what we bring to the table, it's only going to get better, in my view, because we're going to have success. We got the people in place and the processes in place to continue to steal from Coach Norvell. We're going to continue climbing.
Yeah.
And we're just going to get better across all of our sports. Beach volleyball, numbers they do when they play on ESPN for a national championship. So, and it's that logo, it's that brand, it's the people in the country, not only in Florida and the Southeast region, but the country follow Florida State. As one reason why I'm liking that we play Syracuse as one of our permanent opponents, because we're going to get into the New York market. That's just going to enhance our brand even more as we look and as TV contracts and opportunities come open in the future, that we continue to grow and show the worth of what Florida State brings to the table. I mean, how often do you have a top 20 academic institution in America that is also this successful in the classroom with their student athletes and competes for national championships pretty much across the board in everything we do? So, and I got to thank our fans. I got to thank our constituents, our alumni that follow us. We couldn't do it without them and have these type numbers that we have. Anytime you turn on the tube and see the garnet and gold, there's a lot of tubes being turned on.
Yeah. And like you said, competing across all sports, right? Football with 10 wins, beach volleyball, national runners up, soccer to the Final
Soccer.
Four,
You can
softball.
go down the list.
Yeah. Trey last year with track and
Went
everything else.
golf.
So, golf. Yeah, it never ends. It never stops. We always like to kind of give you an opportunity here to talk about this, but we have the annual fund that we can talk about, and we also have Coach Norvell's booster tour going on right now. I know you guys had your first stop this week, but just talk to us a little about how people can get involved, how they can support, how they can maybe come out and see Coach and you if they have you on a plane to go with him or not. But talk to us a little bit about how people can get involved and support.
Yeah, last night we were in Pensacola, and that's such an important area for us, the Panhandle, and really I call it getting re-engaged in that area with Coach. And we had at least 400 people turn out last night in Pensacola, and it was a great crowd, and we got so many great Seminoles there that we're just proud to get out and share our vision. And I think we're being in Orlando next Monday. I think we're in Miami later in the week, next week. And just getting out and really thanking the people for all their support. Because we are growing and we are getting better, but we're a self-sustaining athletic department, so we don't get any state funds or anything from the university. So for us to continue to reinvest in the student-athlete experience and provide the very best resources, whether that's nutrition, academic support, tutors, facility, everything that we provide our student-athletes, all comes from what we're able to go out and fundraise for, and all of our different revenue streams. So we're going out, and I call it the power of one. We got to get our donor base up because the boosters represent about 38% of our athletic budget, and so if it's $70, if it's $100, I'd love to see it be $25,000. But just getting to us annually and growing that annual fund. We have the largest alumni base in the ACC, 375,000 roughly, about 50,000 more than North Carolina. And people don't believe this stat, but yet we're 6th or 7th in number of donors within our own conference. So we got to get it up to about 20,000, and every dollar matters. If you're living in Iowa right now, living in Chicago, and love the garnet and gold, so just $70, just joining the boosters and getting involved and knowing that that's going directly to support the student athlete experience and provide them the very best that we can provide them. That's what it's about. And it's continue, if you believe in what our coaches are doing across the board and the vision of the department, we just ask you to get involved with us, and I think you would be very happy that you did, knowing the type of people that you interview and the type of young men and women we have associated with this program or this department would make you happy to be supported.
Yeah, absolutely. We try and bang that drum. We try and let people know. It's almost a badge of honor to know that you're, it might be a small part, but that you are, when you talked about flipping on the TV and seeing that brand and seeing that logo, to know that, again, it may be a small part, but you're supporting that and you're helping kind of make that possible. And so, with plans as cheap as they are, you can do $5 a month, and it's it's less than a cup of Starbucks.
Less than a cup of coffee. and it's just join us and believing in our vision. And so many people have stepped up. We've been able to grow it, but we want to get to the 20,000 mark. We really want to get. There's no excuse why we can't, and that's just getting our message out. And I'm so glad you're having our student athletes on, because I'm a firm believer when you hear them or get a chance to meet them, you're going to want to contribute. You're going to want to assist at any level that you can, because knowing that it goes back to provide for them and what just the resources we can provide for them all comes from that.
Yeah. Well, Michael, we appreciate you a ton for hanging out, spending some time with us this afternoon. Look forward to getting back up there in a few weeks and seeing you. But thank you so much for your time and all that you do for FSU.
I'm looking forward to having you guys back up here. Looking forward to coming to Tampa. I think that's in May at some point. We're down in Tampa, so hopefully I'll be able to see you there when we do the Norvell Tour, and I think we do the Quarterback Challenge golf tournament at the same time. So I'm looking forward to getting down there. So many great Noles in your neck of the woods as well. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody. Appreciate your support. Join the boosters. Come out and support our student athletes, and because they are truly special people. TJ, I tell people all the time, I got 600 great stories to tell. If I just get you around one of them, you're going to want to support and help them achieve their success.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff. Well, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon. Go Noles.
Appreciate it. Go Noles.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this. I sat down with AD Alford for about 45 minutes and we talked about a bunch of other things, from Norvell's contract extension to the football-only facility where he dropped some insight there, to conference realignment and what he wants from the ACC and what he thinks about Florida State in this crazy world of conferences realigning and teams moving from conference to conference. And so anyway, go check those other videos out. They're either on this channel that you're watching on currently, or they're on our second channel because they deal with FSU just kind of more in general. They're not football related only. Go check that channel out. We'll link it above. It's the DFNS Sports channel that we launched just about a week ago. Go check those out. Appreciate AD Alford for sitting down. Make sure you're subscribed here and there so you don't miss out on anything. We'll talk to you guys soon. Go Noles.